It's Mo. It is Cat Lady Readathon week. Go check out Leanne at Leanne Reads' channel. I am not doing much reading for the readathon, but I am trying to put out some cat content, so look forward to some more videos involving cattish things coming this week. The readathon runs from February 17th to February 23rd, so you still have plenty of time to join in. Leanna is doing a couple of reading sprints. Definitely check out her channel to participate and find out what's happening throughout this cat-centric week. Today I want to do the Meowing About Books tag, and this tag was created by Booktube Goddess, but it is based on a tag that was created by Break Even Books. It's quite a few years old now, I think. It's more of a tag about books than a tag about cats. Question number 1 is Catnip, an addictive book or series that you devoured in one sitting. So not entirely one sitting, but I read it very quickly, was In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which was one of my favorite thrillers that I read in 2022. And that one, like, at some point I think I'd stayed up late reading and my husband was like, "What are you doing?" Like, he doesn't usually see me stay up super late. He doesn't usually see me read late at night. I usually fall asleep before I even get to really reading. So it was definitely a super fun, fast, sharp read that you could read in just a day or two. Question number 2 is Litter Box, a book so stinky you want to bury it in the sand. Sorry to all my Twilight fans, but I hated Twilight. I only read the first book when it first came out back in the day, and I thought it stunk, so I would bury that in the litter box. Question number 3 is Scratching Post, a nonfiction book you keep going back to in order to sharpen your mind or your claws. I have 2 nonfictions that I really loved, both of which I read in 2021, and I haven't reread them yet, but I definitely want to come back to them, and that is 84 Charing Cross Road. I loved this epistolary nonfiction about a writer in New York looking for used books and contacting a used bookseller in England. That one is just heartwarming, wonderful, tearjerker, glorious. I would love to reread that. I know there's kind of a movement to reread it at the beginning of every new year. I didn't jump on that in 2022 or 2023, but maybe that's something I would want to do next year. Another nonfiction that I read in 2021 and I could see myself rereading over and over again is The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin. This has 2 short works in it. One is a letter to his nephew, and the other is kind of a political essay on the state of the civil rights movement in America, and it's just really poignant, relevant to today, and probably for a long time into the future. So I could see that being a nonfiction that I reread and get something out of every single time that I read it. Question number 4 is a short book or short story that you like to play with and then devour. I don't exactly, I mean, I know they're stretching to make the cat connection, but a short story that I read recently that I liked. So I'm currently reading a Alice Walker short story collection, and there were several short stories in there that I really, really liked. One of them was The Lover, and it is about a woman who is married and has a child. She goes to a writing retreat, and there she meets a man who she decides is going to become her lover. It's a very short story, and it's kind of the consequence in her mind and in this man's mind, and the kind of misinterpretation of what taking a lover might mean. Question number 5 is Hairball, a book that you liked on first read, but after the passage of time, you find it makes you want to throw up. I have an answer for this, and it is going to be a book that I really, really liked, but it is the book that has psychologically scarred me that I read in 2022, and that was The Women of Brewster Place by Gloria Naylor. So this is a really interesting book about a collection of women living in an apartment building. It's told in an array of short stories, each involving one woman, but they are all interconnected. Although that book was great, it has one of the most horrific sexual assault scenes that I've ever read and has stayed with me, scarred me. I still have nightmares. It was over a year ago that I read it, and I still have nightmares about that scene, but it also has affected me in other ways too. I think that there's a lot to dissect in that book, and certain parts of that book and certain passages of that book come up in my mind. So although I really liked it, if I think of that one scene particularly, I feel like throwing up. Question number 6 is attitude, a main character that has the attitude of a cat. And we can't go a tag or two without mentioning Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I think a perfect main character who has the demeanor, personality of a cat would be Ford Prefect. He is very changeable, very much out for himself and his own agenda, but he can also be a really nice guy and he can take care of you. He can tell when you're upset. Sometimes he cares, sometimes he doesn't. And to me, he's very cat-like. Question number 7 is perfect, a book or series that is so perfect that you can't find any flaws at all. Well, I mean, we could use the Hitchhiker's Guide for this too. You know, I love the Hitchhiker's Guide. It's my favorite series. The first book in the series is my all-time favorite book, but it's not a perfect series. I don't know if there really is a perfect series or a perfect book that has 0 flaws. Question number 8 is Hiss, your favorite horror or scary book. A horror that I read towards the end of last year that I absolutely loved was Annihilation. This is a sci-fi horror all about a mysterious, possibly natural, possibly supernatural environmental event that happens along the coast and about the government trying to contain or understand this contaminated area, Area X. I also read Authority earlier this year, which is the sequel, and where Annihilation has much more to do with Area X itself, Authority has, you guessed it, more to do with the authoritative figures who are trying to figure out the secrets of Area X from safe ground. For Christmas, I got the 3rd book in the collection, which is Acceptance, and I'm super excited to get to this one and see what kind of horrors are in store in the 3rd installment. Question number 9 is 9 Lives, a series or author you liked, then was dead to you, but then you liked again. I don't read a ton of series. Mostly if I am reading series, I'm reading like mystery series. But mystery series often have the same amount of enjoyment or a very even feeling in the way that I enjoy them. I can't think of any series that I liked one book in, didn't like one book, liked one book in. And as far as authors, I've been reading so many new authors in the last few years, mostly because of Booktube, that I'm not sure if there's been anything where I would say it fluctuates wildly like that. Usually I'll read 1 or 2 books by a new author and I either like them or I don't really like them. Series slash authors slash books that come to mind is Sarah Gran. I've read 5 Sarah Gran novels so far. I started out with Return to Saturn, which I think was her debut novel. It was okay. And then I read the first 2 in the Claire DeWitt series, which I really, really liked. The 3rd book in the Claire DeWitt series I thought was not the best. It was okay. And then I read Come Closer, which was really, really good, but was an older book from her. So she's definitely been someone that I've gone up and down with. I wouldn't say it was 9 lives and that she was dead to me and then resurrected, but I would say that I have had a tumultuous relationship, a more tumultuous relationship with her than I have had with other authors. There isn't a prompt to tag people, but you can always tag someone in any tag that you do. I wasn't tagged in this tag, I just found it because I wanted to do a cattish tag, so I will definitely tag Leanna from Leanna Reads, who is the creator of the Cat Lady Readathon. I will tag Jess the Book Freak and her cat Pistachio. I will tag Jennifer from Jennifer Loves Books, who loves to cuddle with her cats. I will tag Suzanne Danielle, who has lots of cats. She doesn't have a Booktube channel, but hopefully she will answer the prompts in the comments below, which you can always feel free to do the same if you do not have your own Booktube channel. And then I will also tag Pensively Reading. So those are all the people that I'm tagging in this book tag. If I tagged anyone who's already done this tag, feel free to just link your video below or mention that you've already done this tag. If you feel like you would like to do this tag, feel free to consider yourself tagged. That was the Meowing About Books tag. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!